Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know why I sing that sometimes. It's Wednesday morning, 8:30, and today we're going to bend back. Bend back. Oh, let's turn off the sun. Yesterday we worked on opening the whole chest through the hands. So we connected the hands to the heart, and we worked a lot on opening the chest. And today I would like to move a little bit more down. So today I will start with working on the feet. So it's the same idea as yesterday, the hands connected to the heart, opening. Today, connecting the feet to the hips, into the hips and the lower back. And then we can do a lot of deep back bending. I have two scarves here. I'm not sure yet exactly how we're going to use them, but I know we will use them. So I'm showing them to you as if you don't know what a scarf is, which is silly, but you know what a scarf is. Anyways, if you have some scarves, you can also use straps. If you have yoga straps, I don't have two myself, so I use scarves. It's quite nice because they're softer. So we use those. We'll do some wrapping around the ankles. Strong clasp, but a very bendy clasp. I want to go really deep. I have a bit of sciatic pain still, and a little bit of stiffness in the hips, lower back. So I really want to go into that today and really bend back and use all the openness from yesterday, the whole openness of the chest, to go very, very open. So I hope you enjoy. I'm just going to put on some kind of a sound because I really enjoy doing that. Let's say positive aura cleanse, chakra clearing. Sorry. This is an ad. There we go. I didn't set this up on time. It's been one of those mornings where I woke up very early. But I just lost the time, you know? So I'm a little bit late in. Is this now on or not? Yeah. Okay, so a bit of light sound. Next to us, and then we can get going. So yeah, blocks if you have them, two scarves or straps, and yeah, let's get going. We'll start by warming up the feet. Working through the feet the same way we worked, similar way we worked through the hands yesterday. So come to sitting on your block or on a pillow. Just gonna put my hair away. Getting there, sorry, a bit slower today. Here we go. So sitting on your block or on a pillow or directly on the floor, whatever feels good to you, as always. Just taking a moment here to arrive. Letting everything sink down into the floor while at the same time you have the energy moving up. I'm sorry, I'm just going to close the window for the sound. scatterbrainy today. Sorry about that. Okay, for real now. Sitting on your mat. Focusing on your breath. Taking a moment to leave any scatterbraininess, any stress, anything you're working on, working through. Just leave it in the other room. Right now you're here in your body, in your space on your mat, very present. And for the next 2 hours or so, we will focus on our breath, focus on our bodies, be in the present moment and practice together. So opposition forces moving through your body, gravity pulling you down into the core of the earth, your whole body connected to the center of the earth, your hips, your knees, your ankles, shoulders, all relaxing, softening down. And at the same time, you have a pulling up of energy out of the ground into your spine, all the way up and out of the top of your head. Opposition forces holding you up and grounding you down. Start to take super small spinal waves. So you can start almost invisible, starting from the tailbone, tucking your tail a little bit forward, round, rolling all the way through your spine till the wave gets into the top of your head. Just as an idea, play with this wave through the spine. You can start very, very small and see if you can feel every vertebra moving individually. You can make it a little bit bigger. Very small, very easy, very soft. For now, your belly can still be relaxed, your upper thighs soft, jaw released. And then bring it to stillness, sitting upright. And then try the same thing, starting from the top of the head. So the top of the head starts the wave. And each and every vertebra follows. And try to not start the next part of the wave until the first wave is all the way through the spine. I find that quite hard, but try not to bend your head forward until the backwards part of the wave is completely finished all the way out of your tailbone. And try not to bend your head back until your tailbone is bending forward. If that makes any sense. There's a few ways you can do this. You can also start the wave and let it wave out and already start a new wave as the wave is still working out through the rest of the body. But just as an experiment, try. You round your head a little bit forward. You start to round through the whole spine. And you keep rounding all the way until your very tip of your tailbone is tucking forward. And only then do you move your head back to start the backwards part of the spinal roll. And speed it up a little bit and see if you can keep this principle of Not starting the next part until you finish the first part. And coming back to the middle, try again starting from the tailbone. Tucking the tailbone forward, rounding the spine. Also here, trying not to move to the backwards part of the wave until the forwards part is done. For me, I find it much easier starting from the tailbone, so this can be different for everyone. Which directions feel more natural to you? And bring it to a stillness. Take a moment here, noticing any reverberations of that spinal wavy movement we just done. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head forward, getting ready for your practice of today. Open your palms up. Bring your arms overhand. You can open your eyes. Hands overhead, breathing in, looking up. As you breathe out, bring your head back to the center. Bring your right arm down. Then breathe in, lift the left arm up higher. Bending your spine over to the right side. Very simple side bend. Pulling out of the left arm. Dropping your head to the floor. A little weight attached to the top of your head, pulling you down into the floor. From here, round your back forward over your right leg. Keep breathing. Take it very easy here. We're just warming up the spine and walk your hands back. Round yourself up. Lift your both arms up, breathing in. Looking up. Breathing out, drop your left arm down. Bring your focus back to the center. Breathing in, lift your right arm up higher. And as you breathe out, bending over to the left side. Very simple. Drop your head. You're rounding down over your left knee. Walking your hands back, rounding yourself back up. I'm doing the same thing, but we'll incorporate a little spinal roll here. Breathing in, looking up with both your arms, reaching up. Breathing out, bring your right hand back down, bring your face back to the center. Now breathe in, lift up higher with the left arm, then bend to the right. Stretching your left side body. From here, start giving little spinal waves, just like we did before. You can start with the way that felt the most natural to you before, so either starting from the tailbone or from the top of the head. You can involve your arm also in these waves, giving a bit of freedom to the shoulder. And then reversing the direction. So if you were starting from the tailbone, then start from the head. Same idea here. See if you can finish the whole one side, one curve of the wave before starting on the next side or the next wave. The next time you curve forward, gently roll over your right knee. Walk your hands forward into the center, coming onto your elbows. See here you can incorporate a small spinal wave. And then reversing the direction now. And walk your hands gently back, roll yourself back up. Reach your arms up as you breathe in, looking up. Breathing out, bring your left arm down, bring your face back to the center, then breathing in, lift up even higher with your right arm, bend over to the left, drop your head, big stretch for the right side body, and start to wave very gently here. You can lean either on the left wrist or on the left elbow, depending on how you feel in your spine today. Waving, maybe incorporating your arm into that wave, letting your shoulder be a bit free. And then reverse the direction of the wave. So if you started from the top of the head, now start with the pelvis. If you started with the pelvis, now start with the top of the head. Take this very free spine. Each vertebra is moving individually from the next. A lot of space between the vertebrae. Soft, spongy discs between the vertebrae of the spine. And your next forward movement with the spine, roll over your right and your left knee. And from here, walking your elbows forward to the center. And start to wave through the spine. Also in this position, starting from the pelvis, tucking your tailbone a little bit and let that wave all the way up through the spine. And from there, reverse the direction, starting from the head. If your hips come a little bit off the floor, off the block here, it's fine. Gently warming up through the spine and walk your hands back, rolling all the way up to the middle. For a moment, closing your eyes, taking a breath, noticing how you feel different now from 5-10 minutes ago. Now work through our feet. So you can sit, you can take your butt off the block if you were sitting on the block. Straighten your both legs for a moment, just roll out the legs. Maybe give a bit of a rub to your thighs, knees, waking them up. And then take your right foot. Take it somewhere close to you in a very comfortable way. It can be on your leg, it can be on the floor, whatever feels nice to you here. And just start to rub the base of your foot with your both thumbs or both heels of the hand, rubbing the whole sole of your foot very simply. So we can use quite some force here, quite some vigorous rubbing, but make sure that you're using the weight of your torso here rather than a lot of tension in the shoulders. Waking up the sole of the foot and step your foot down on the floor, doing the same to the top of the foot, rubbing. You can use really the heel of the hand here or even the knuckles to give a bit of vigorous swishing of movement into your foot, on the tops of the toes, side of the foot, the ankle also, the Achilles. And moving back to the sole of your foot. Now give a bit more of a massagey type rub. So really with your thumbs working into the bases of your toes. All of your toes, rub them out, and the whole ball of your foot, center, middle of your foot, and the heel, both your thumbs or the heels of your hand, whatever feels good. Tiny little foot massage for yourself, and start to pull all your toes towards the heel. Just a little warm up for the whole foot. Now we're going to do toe splits. Looks exactly like what it sounds like. So start by pulling your big toe towards the top of your foot and your second toe towards the sole of your foot. So you're creating splits between your big and your second toe. And once you're there, you can pull a little bit from side to side. You can wiggle, really stretching out the skin between the toes. Then reversing the direction of the split, so the big toe comes towards the sole of the foot and the second toe comes towards the top of the foot, wiggling a little bit. Then moving on to the next two toes. So now your second toe moves to the sole and your third toe moves towards the top of the foot. Wiggling your toes, stretching really the skin between the toes, reversing the direction of the splits. Change to the next two toes. Third toe moves towards the sole. Fourth toe moves towards the top of the foot. This way we work all the way through the foot, splitting between each toe in both directions. Maybe shaking a little bit, wiggling the toes. You can make circular motions with both toes moving away from each other. A lot of possibilities here. As with everything, don't overdo it. If you feel sharp pain or anything that's very uncomfortable, back off. And also know that all of the toes are, well, all the toes can be feeling a bit different. So if you suddenly have one of them that feels a lot stiffer than the rest, it's normal. Just go into it gently with curiosity. Moving all the way down the foot. I'm onto the last two toes now. And then stand your heel onto the floor. Grab the top of your foot. You can use both hands. You're pulling all toes towards the top of the ankle. Little Achilles stretch here. You can shift the foot side to side. Then let that foot go. You can shake out the leg for a moment. And change sides. So take your left foot now, start to rub the sole of your foot really vigorously. And if you lean your weight a little bit forward, you can use the weight of the torso to help you with this. Hopefully minimizing the tension in the shoulders. Really make sure you cover every millimeter of surface on your feet, really rubbing, waking up the skin. Then step that foot onto the floor, exposing the top of the foot, and rub that one also with the heels of your hands or even with your knuckles on the tops of the toes, ball of the foot, middle of the foot, sides of the foot, on both sides of the ankle, the Achilles tendon, really rubbing out. And then flipping your foot again now, using your thumbs, those really strong fingers, to rub out the base of each toe. Really get into that skin of the the skin exactly between the ball of the foot and the beginning of the toe. It's a piece of our bodies that we don't often get in touch with. Many of us walk with our toes a little bit scrunched, so often our toes aren't quite touching the floor. And these parts can get a bit neglected between the toes and the bases of the toes, and actually they're very important because our feet carry us through the day, carry our whole weight. So it's really good sometimes to give some attention to the feet. You can pull out your toes towards the heel, stretching the top of the foot, pressing a bit with your thumbs into the sole of your foot, and then we're going to do the same toe splits. So starting with the big toe, reaching to the top of the foot and the second toe to the bottom of the foot, the sole really making a split between the toes, stretching the skin here between the toes, and if it feels good to you, you can wiggle, keeping your torso soft. You can wiggle your shoulders also, changing the direction of the splits. It's up to you. If the wiggling feels too much, just keep it very simple and still. But if you feel you want to introduce a bit more movement into the feet, you can pull on the toes and see how they can move. Moving on to the second and third toes now, splitting in both directions. Maybe wiggling, finding the way that works best for you. Moving on to the third and fourth toes, splitting in both directions. Stretching the bases of the toes and the tops of the toes. And then the last two toes. And again, sometimes one of your toes can feel completely different than the rest. It's normal. Often the smallest toe is a bit less mobile than the rest. Some people think we don't really need the smallest toe. I don't agree. Step your foot down onto the mat. Grab the ball with both hands. Stretch your toes towards you. Giving yourself a little Achilles stretch, and then you can shift the foot side to side. Now let's just do a quick little stretch with the back of the feet. I like this very much because my Achilles are not so long. Just come to a wall near you. Step your right foot forward, left foot back. And start just by pushing into the wall, bringing your pelvis, tucking your pelvis a little bit forward. So we're at the same time stretching the front of the left leg, the front of the left hip, and the left back of the knee and the calf muscle. And you can really put your weight into the wall, maybe even leaning on your elbows. From here, very gentle with this, start to bend your left knee, very slight. Stretching deeply into your left Achilles. And if you'd like to increase the stretch, you can lift your right foot off the floor, increasing the weight. Playing with the deepness of the bend in the left knee. It doesn't have to be very deep to get a deep stretch in the Achilles. Also here you can very, very carefully try out with shifting the left knee a little bit side to side, a little bit in and out. Very carefully here. And then changing sides. Step your right foot back. Left foot forward. Start with a long right knee. Tucking your pelvis a little bit forward so you're at the same time stretching into the front of the right hip and into the back of the knee. Releasing your shoulders, you can hang a bit in your shoulders. And from here, starting to very small, very gently bend your right knee a little bit. Working into your ankle, into your Achilles tendon. And giving us a lot of space for later that we can bend really deeply and ground our feet into the floor. If you'd like to increase, you can lift the left foot off the floor, increasing the weight. Placing the left foot back down, maybe you can, super small, very subtle movement here. Move your right knee a little bit side to side, so moving it in and out. Increasing the stretch on your Achilles on either end. Gently, gently coming out of this. Take a few walks through your feet, through your ankles. And then just come into a squat and see if your squat is any different from normal. For me, doing the stretches on the Achilles really helps me have an easier squat because my Achilles are quite short. So if I try to squat without stretching first, it's hard for me. And I always love to squat right after this because it feels so much easier. A little squat here. You can place your elbows on the insides of your knees. Push your torso a little bit more up so your sternum is coming up and you're sinking lower, deeper down into your hips. From here, put the weight forward a bit into your hands. Bring your feet hip width distance. And then bring your heels all the way up, stretching the front of your toes. Sorry, the bases of your toes and the fronts of your feet. And if your small toes are rolling a bit into the side, point them forward with your hand. And then you can use your fingertips to shift weight forward and back, forward and back. Stretching the bases of your toes, the bottoms of your feet, and the front of your arches. From here, if it feels comfortable to you, you can directly roll over your feet. If this is intense, come to your knees first with your toes tucked under. And from there, lean your torso back. And take your knees as close to your chest as possible. Little stretch for the top of the feet, tops of the feet. See if you can keep your feet really parallel. The ankles want to roll out here. Keep them coming towards each other, the ankles, so you're stretching your feet in alignment with your ankles. Gently coming back down, re-tucking your toes. Re-pointing your little toes forward. Either if this is already intense, just sitting on top of your heels here. But since the feet are already quite warm, maybe it's fine to Move your hands a little bit back, increasing the weight on the top of the feet. And then tuck your pelvis. From here, we can start waving through the spine. Maybe it's very small here because we're already quite arched. So just experiment with it. See what's possible in this quite restricting position. How can you wave through the spine? Can you open the chest? Can you drop the head? Then reversing direction. So I started from the pelvis, so now I start with the head. It's funny how it can be so confusing in a different position. At least for me. Very interesting, such a simple action of waving through the spine. Feels very different in every different position. Going back, walk your hands back, untuck your toes, and you can give a little tap onto your mat with the tops of the feet to release them. Maybe shake out your lower legs side to side, leaning on top of your knees. Then retuck your toes, place your hands right below your shoulders and spread the fingers. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Your middle fingers pointing forwards and your pinkies and your thumbs as wide as possible. Pointing your elbows forward. Now gently lift your knees off the floor. Keep the back of your neck long. Press down strongly into the floor. And try for a little spine wave here. And if it gets too much, just place your knees down. So it's like you're cat-cowing in a wave. Place your knees down and reverse the direction. And if you feel your spine moving in blocks, see if you can slow it down and break the block up into smaller pieces. From here, come to a neutral spine. Neutral spine and press yourself into downward facing dog. First one of the day. Walk out through your feet. Notice if you feel any difference after that deep Achilles stretch in your downward dog. Maybe your heels are a little bit closer to the floor. And then settle down in your downward dog. More important that you're tipping your sit bones up to the ceiling than that your legs are straight. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit to get your sit bones really tipping up, go for it. See if you can get your Achilles tendons very long and your feet very spread. So maybe you can lift your toes off the floor, spread them really wide and place them back down. From here, let's do a little spinal wave also. So start by tucking your pelvis down, rolling the weight forward, all the way into your plank. From there, bend your knees a little bit, tuck your tailbone back, rolling all the way through your spine, arching. Do that 3 more times in this direction. Really take your time to figure out the spinal waving, opening the chest as you arch, involving the head and neck. And after you've done 3, come back to your downward dog. And then reverse the direction. Start from the head, arching, arching, arching yourself into a plank, and then start rounding your head, coming back to your downward dog with a round back. Do that 3 more times, arching yourself forward and rounding yourself back down. Again, seeing if you can be super consistent with rolling through each vertebra, starting from the top of the head, then the neck, then between the shoulders, lower back, all the way to the tailbone. One last roll. Then coming back into your down dog, drop your knees down to the floor. Take a very active child's pose, and if you like, you can open up your shoulders with some blocks, placing your elbows on top of blocks. This is optional. If you just want to rest in a child's pose, it's fine. You can lean your elbows on the blocks, bring your hands to prayer to your back of your neck. And if you want to intensify, walk your knees a little bit further back. Drop the weight of the head down. Stick your bottom ribs out towards the floor and your sit bones up at the ceiling. Soft focus, relaxing into your shoulders. And gently coming out of this. Removing the blocks. Come back into your downward dog with your hands super widely stretched out and your feet very spread. Pressing down into the fingertips, pressing the heels down towards the floor, tucking your sit bones up at the ceiling. Keep the base ribs hugging in. From there, start to walk your feet. See if you can roll through the whole foot. Take very small steps. Slowly walking your feet towards your hands. All the way until you're standing in a forward bend. You can bend your knees a little bit here if you're not yet quite ready for straight legs. And if it's hard to touch the floor, you can place your blocks next to your feet and slightly in front of your feet, shoulder width. Even if it's very easy for you to touch the floor, sometimes it's quite nice to have these blocks here to have a different anchor point for your hands, a different way to relate to the floor. Maybe it allows you to hang your elbows a little bit heavier because they can bend a little bit deeper than normally. Releasing the top of your head and back of your neck. Draping your torso on top of your thighs. Sticking your sit bones up to the ceiling. And how about here we do a tiny little wave with the spine. Starting from the tailbone, tucking the tailbone under, rolling all the way through the spine, and then stick the tailbone up, waving all the way through the spine until you're in a halfway coming up pose, then Rounding again, really starting from the base, moving through the whole spine. Start from the tailbone, rolling through the rest of the spine. From here, in your halfway up pose, start from the head, so start tucking your chin to your chest, rounding the whole spine gently down until you tuck your pelvis under, and then you start to lift your head, start arching through the whole spine. And be super, super humble and honest here. Can you really move each vertebra one at a time? If you have to go quite slow to feel it, that's fine. Then come to the middle, hanging down just for another moment. Then bending your knees deeply, rolling up all the way through the spine, coming to standing. Opening your palms when you reach the top. Grounding strongly down through the feet. And let's lean the weight a little bit backward into the heels, lifting all of your toes. And see if you can spread, so make a large amount of space, create a lot of space between your pinky toe and your big toe, and then step all your toes down one by one if you can, spreading out the whole foot, shifting the weight now into the middle of the foot, so the weight is equally divided between the four corners of the foot. Your ankles are soft, your knees are neither over straightened nor bent. They're in a happy middle position there. Your pelvis very, very slightly tucked forward, so we're not looking to really tuck the butt in. Just a small, small tuck so the lower back can be long. The fronts of the hips can be long. Your rib cage is floating up and away from the hips. Your shoulder blades are sliding down the back. Chest is open. Your chin very, very slightly dropping, pulling down towards the throat so that the back of the head can float up. Very long back of the neck. Strong, proud pose. From here, in your next in-breath, take your arms up overhead and swan diving down. Hands come either next to your feet or they can come back onto your blocks. As you breathe in, come halfway up. As you breathe out, step or jump back. Start by stepping actually. You can move your blocks out of the way. Into your strong plank. Really root your hands down. Spread the fingers. Reach your heels to the back wall. Hug your lower ribs in, one long line of the spine, pushing strongly into the floor with all of your finger pads. Keep the back of your neck long. From here, your choice, you can place your knees down on the floor, or you can go straight for chaturanga with straight legs. Bending the elbows, coming all the way down, hovering for a moment. And from there, slide the weight forward. Let's start with a small cobra here. Untucking your toes. Your hands are below your shoulders. You're opening your chest. Shoulders are rolling down and back. So your shoulder blades are meeting behind the spine. And the shoulders are rolling away from the ears. From here, if you're ready, you can push up into an upward dog. Pressing down firmly into your hands. Dropping your hips down, straightening through the knees, and maybe dropping your head down. Keep sliding your shoulders down the back. From here, either you can push straight back into downward dog, or you can do an extra push-up Strengthening those arms and shoulders. And then stepping into your down dog. With those delicious long Achilles tendons. I really enjoy everything after I do those Achilles stretches. Everything feels easier. From here, shifting the weight into the left foot. Lift and let the right leg up parallel. So the hips stay parallel, the right knee is still pointing down. Weight is equally divided between your both hands. Long back of your neck, soft focus. From here, point the foot. And let's roll. So let's start by tucking the pelvis and we're going to roll into plank, keeping that leg up. Rolling through the spine. All the way to plank. Right leg is hovering above the floor. From here, pull your knee to your chest and really round the back. So your knee all the way down. You can round your forehead to your knee. And from there, step the foot between the hands. Bring the left knee down. And walk your hands into the top of your knee. And here, if you can, keep your left toes tucked. If it's intense for the knee, you can put a pillow or fold your mat. But keeping the toes tucked really helps to keep the left hip pointing forward, and we want these hips parallel. From here, let's do a little spinal wave. So pushing a little bit into your right foot to lift the pelvis a bit up to round it. And then when you tuck, sinking back down. So rounding the pelvis, pressing down into the right foot. Rounding all the way till your head comes down, and then you tuck your tailbone back, arching the back all the way forward with the pelvis. 2 more rounds in this direction. And then changing the direction. So from your low point with your pelvis, start rolling your head forward, rounding, 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 pushing down into your legs to round your pelvis forward. From there, bring your head up, curving all the way to the spine, all the way until your tailbone tucks back. Let's do 3 more in this direction. Starting from the head, moving all the way through the spine. I keep it as a count. I think I've done 2. And going back to your low lunge, your hips sinking very low down, making sure your right shin bone is perpendicular to the floor. Left hip sinking down and forward. Float your arms up. Straighten through the left knee. See if you can keep your hips as low as they were with a long, straight left leg. Now come into warrior 2 pose, bringing your left heel down to the floor. Still see if you can keep your hips as low as they were. Long, straight left leg, outside of the left foot, pushing down into the floor. Hips sinking, chest lifting. From here, straighten through the right knee, flip the right palm up, bring the arm up, bring the left arm to the back of the left leg. Now rotating your torso forward. So you're turning your right shoulder back, left shoulder front. From here, lift the right arm up more, start arching back. See if you can push the left front of the hip a little bit more forward. Gently windmilling your arms back. Open your torso back out to the side. Bend the right knee. Now lift the left heel. Bring your arms back into your warrior one pose. So your arms are up. Then press down into the left heel. Come onto a forward diagonal. Leaning the whole back forward on the diagonal. Then bring your hands down next to your foot. Step the right foot back into plank. Strong plank with a straight back. Either with your knees down or long and straight. Come down to chaturanga. Up into upward dog. And back into downward dog. Always with an optional extra push-up. And if it's too much, just leave it out. And if at any point the vinyasas get too much, just do a child's pose instead. Shift the weight into the right foot. Bring the left leg up parallel. So your left knee keeps pointing down. Your hips are parallel. Straightening through the backs of both your knees. Equal weight divided between both hands. Now point the left foot. We're going to tuck the pelvis a little bit to roll forward through the spine. So still a spinal wave. Or again, a spinal wave coming into plank with the left foot up. From here, start to bring your knee all the way to your forehead. So you're really rounding the spine here. Tuck your left foot. Step in between your hands. Bring your right knee down. Keep the toes tucked. Now walk your both hands on top of your right knee. Make sure your left shin bone is perpendicular to the floor. From here we're going to again do the spinal wave. So starting with tucking the pelvis forward, pressing a little bit into the left foot, tucking the pelvis. Let the rounding move all the way up the spine. And then tucking the tailbone back to arch the spine. 3 more like this. Moving all the way up the spine. So to tuck, pressing down into your foot. And to bring the tailbone back, you can sink back down into your hip. And once you've done 4 in total, we're going to start from the head. So with your pelvis down low, start to round your head forward, rounding through the whole spine, pressing into the foot to tuck your pelvis. From there, rolling your head back, moving all the way through the spine, sinking the hips down low again. We'll do 4 rounds total. Taking your time, keep breathing. Nice and strengthening also for your left inner thigh, left hamstring. And once you've completed 4, come back to your deep lunge. Double check that your left shin is perpendicular to the floor. Sink your right hip down lower, more forward, and float your arms up. From here, stretching the whole right leg. Keep your hips as low as they were. From there, come into your warrior two, flipping your right heel down to the floor. See if you can keep your hips again as low as they were. Long, straight right leg. Outside of the right foot, pushing down into the floor. Hips sinking more. From here, straightening the front knee. Flip the left palm, bring the arm up, bring the right arm down. And then shift your shoulders, twist them forward. So the left shoulder twists back, the right shoulder twists forward. From here, breathing in and then back. Can be very small and gentle here. Gently coming back to the center, windmilling your arms down. Bending the left knee. Coming back into your big, strong warrior two. From here, windmilling your arms down. Lifting the right heel off the floor. Sorry, I missed something there. So let's come back into the warrior two. Bring your arms up and bring your right heel up. We came through warrior one. And from there, we went forward into a diagonal. So leaning the whole torso forward with the arms long. And from there, coming down, place your hands next to your foot. Step into plank. Strong plank here. Bending your elbows, come down, chaturanga. Slide your chest forward into upward dog. Back into your downward dog. Take 3 slow breaths here, pressing your heels down into the floor. Tipping your sit bones up, softening the back of your neck. Then look up at your hands. Walk your feet back. Come halfway up. Round yourself back down. Bend your knees. Rolling all the way through the spine, starting from the tailbone. Vertebra by vertebra. All the way to standing. Opening the palms. From here, just like we did in the beginning of the class, breathing in, looking up. As you breathe out, drop your right arm down and bring your face back to the middle. Then breathe in, lift your left arm up higher and bend over to the right. You can slide your right arm down the right leg and use it for support. Start very simple and small side bending, dropping your head down. And if you want to go deeper, start to bring the left hip more over to the left. So you're making a banana shape. Walk your right hand a little bit lower down the right leg. Re-drop your head, pull out of your left hand. Gently come out of this. Bring the left arm down. Open your palms. 1 deep breath in and out. Then breathing in, bring both your arms up. Breathe out. Bring your left arm down and bring your face back down. As you breathe in, pull your right arm up higher. And then bend over to the left, leaning your left hand into your side of your left thigh. Drop your head. If this is enough for you, you can stay here. If you want to go deeper, start to shift your right hip further over to the right. So you're making a banana shape. Re-drop the head, pull from the right hand. Walk the left hand lower down the leg. Big side bend. Gently coming out of this. Bring your both arms down on your sides. Palms facing forward. One deep breath here. Now place your both hands on your lower back. We're going to do a small supported back bend. Start by really focusing on opening the chest. So as you breathe in, lift your sternum up, roll your shoulder blades back and bring your elbows closer together. Make sure your knees are fully straight. One more time, breathing up, bring the whole rib cage up and then gently bending back by opening the chest, not hanging in the lower back. We're creating a lot of space in the lower back. Dropping your head only if it feels good to your neck. If your neck hurts at all, keep your head up. And let the weight of the head help you open the chest more. And only if you're ready, you can push into your hips. Use your butt muscles to deepen the bend in the lower back. Keep the chest opening, opening, opening. Gently coming back up. Do a little counter stretch. Just curving your upper back down, keeping your pelvis upright, but rounding your upper back over your pelvis, maybe rolling out your shoulders for a moment. Coming back up, two options. We're going to go either into exactly the same that we just did with the hands on the lower back, or if you want to intensify, we will do the same thing with the arms up. So if you're placing your hands, actually let's all start with the hands on the lower back. And then we can intensify as we're in the pose. So placing your hands on your lower back with your fingers pointing down. And you can really use the weight in the hand palms here to push your pelvis down, to tuck your pelvis a little bit forward, creating space between the ribs and the hips. Now pulling your elbows together so your shoulders are rolling open, your chest is rolling open. As you breathe in, lift your sternum to the ceiling, drop your head back as far as feels good to your neck. So if your neck hurts, keep the back of the neck long. If it's fine for your neck, you can drop your head. And there, opening the chest. Really should start like the chest opener, not like a lower back bend. We're not hanging in the lower back. Only if your lower back is fine. Start to push your pelvis a little bit more forward. Keep opening the chest. And if you want to go deeper from here, release the hands from the lower back. Bring them into prayer in front of your chest. Then interlace your fingers. Release the index fingers. From here, start pointing your index fingers at the back wall. Pulling out of your shoulder. Pulling your hands back behind your head. Keep your knees straight. Keep bending, keep breathing. Gently coming back out. Release the arms. Curve your back forward. Little counter stretch. So you're keeping your pelvis upright, just dropping the top of your head. Rolling yourself back up. Breathing in, bring your arms up overhead. Breathing out, swan diving down, all the way down. Breathing in, come halfway up. Breathe out, plant your hands with very Stretch that finger, step or jump back into plank. Come down into chaturanga, sliding forward into up dog and into your downward dog. From here, bring your right leg up. And once you hit your highest parallel point with that leg, point the foot, open the hip. Keep rolling your left leg out so it doesn't roll in with the opening of the right hip. Pressing down through both your hands evenly, softening the back of your neck. Bend the right knee. Start leaning the foot back behind you, overhead, leaning it towards the floor. Coming towards your wild thing. Take a very slow transition into this, opening your chest, enjoying the whole way. From there, coming back exactly the same way you came in. Stick your right foot up to the ceiling. Then bring the right knee to your forehead, round your back, then roll forward. Then step the right foot between the hands. Come into warrior one. Bend the left knee down. Now press into your right foot so you're shifting your hips back. Twisting your torso against the direction of your leg. So your left arm comes forward, right arm comes back. Now look back at your right hand. See if you can reach for your left heel with the right hand. Once you reach it, turn your torso back forward. Sit your hips back down a little bit, as much as you can, bringing your left arm up. From here, you can stay here or flip the left palm to the right wall. Start dropping your head, bending back. Bring your arm overhead. Gently coming out of this. Come all the way forward, leaning into your right hip. Extending the left leg. We're leaning with both hands now on the right leg. Bring your arms up, warrior one. Open warrior two, flowing a little bit faster now. Coming into your back bend with a straight front leg. Coming back down, back into your warrior two. Windmilling your arms down. Bring your left heel up. Step the right foot back into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. From here, lifting your left foot up, first parallel as far as you can, and as soon as you reach your parallel limit, start to point the left foot, start opening the hip. The only thing that changes is that the left leg turns out. The whole rest of the position stays the same. From here, bend that left knee. Start reaching the foot for the floor, shifting weight forward into the right hand, lifting the left arm. Step into your wild thing, circling, open your chest. Reversing, coming back the same way you came in, sticking your left foot up. From here, start bringing the knee to the forehead so you're really rounding your back. rolling forward, and then stepping the left foot between the hands, coming right away into your warrior one. Opening into warrior two. I messed up the order here, but it's okay. Coming back into warrior one. What did I do? Bringing your knee down. So your right knee comes down to the floor. Opening your both arms, twisting so your right arm comes forward, left arm back. And press down into your left foot to shift your hips back. Now look back at your left hand and start to reach for the left foot. And if it's super hard to balance here, you can slide your left foot a little bit closer. So you're reaching for your right foot with your left hand. Once you reach that, twist your torso back forward. Bring the right arm up. And start to bring it overhead, dropping your head back. From here, gently coming back up. Come all the way forward. Bring your hands to your left knee, sinking down into your hip. From here, straightening the right knee, lifting up your arms. Warrior one, into warrior two. Flowing into your back bend here. Straightening the front leg, leaning the back arm on the back leg. Bending back with your left arm overhead. Windmilling back down. Sitting back down in your warrior two. Windmilling the arms, lifting the right heel. Stepping into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Soften the back of your neck. Reach your sit bones up to the floor, to the ceiling, sorry. Now look up at your hands. Step or jump back. Lifting halfway up. Rounding all the way down. Let's take a moment here in forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your hands to your lower back. Interlace your fingers. Drop your hands behind your back. We did a lot of this yesterday to open the chest. A little reminder. You can shift the hands side to side. And you can also bend your knees one by one a little bit. So as you shift to the left, with your hands, bend your left knee, twist your torso a little bit to the right. And vice versa, bending the right leg, shifting the hands to the right. Just a little wiggle here. Opening up the chest. Then come back to the middle. Bring the hands back down to your lower back. Then release the clasp. Bring your hands down to the floor. Bend your knees, round up all the way slowly. Breathing in, lift your arms up overhead. Breathe out, swan back down. Breathe in, come halfway up, or jump or step into plank, chaturanga down, upward facing dog, and back into downward facing dog. Let's do another wild thing. I love these wild things. So shift the weight into the left foot, lift your right leg up, point through the foot, open up the hip. Take a moment here, really straightening through that right knee, evening out the weight between your both hands. Bend the right knee, lift the knee up higher to the ceiling first. Then start bringing the foot down to the floor. See if you can lift your right hand long before your right foot hits the floor. Practicing your balance. Open your chest all the way. Open, open, open. Drop your head. Or reversing. Coming back the same way you came in. Then bending the right knee. Tuck your chin to your chest and bring your knee to your forehead if you can. From there, roll the weight forward. From there, lengthen your back. Step the foot between the hands. Come into warrior one. Let's repeat that pose we did before. Dropping the left knee down. Twisting the spine open. I say repeat it because sometimes when we repeat it, it goes so much easier. Press into the right foot to bring your hips back. And look at your right hand behind you. Start reaching for the left heel. Once you have it, twist your torso back forward. See if you can slide your hips gently forward and start to bring your left arm overhead with the palm facing the right side wall. Dropping your head, opening your chest. Gently push yourself out of this now. Come all the way to your deep lunge. Bring your hands, if you can, to reverse prayer. Prayer between the shoulder blades. If this is too intense, you can grab your opposite elbows behind your back. Open your chest. If you're in reverse prayer, bring your elbows to the back wall. And then straighten through your left knee. Come into warrior two pose with this same reverse prayer, sinking down lower. Now straightening the front knee. Twisting your torso back forward, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Lifting your chest, bending back. Gently coming back forward. Now, come onto the ball of your left foot. Bring your left hip back forward. And then start to lengthen forward over the right leg. Pressing down into the ball of the left foot. Still in your reverse prayer position. Lifting your elbows up high to the ceiling. If it's hard to balance, you can let go of the prayer. Bring your hands to the floor or use your blocks. From here, coming back up with your spine. Still balancing on the ball of your left foot. Bring your arms up. Bend the right knee, sorry. We're back in our deep warrior one pose. Now lean forward on that diagonal first to bring the hands down. Now we're gonna walk the fingertips a little bit forward and see if we can step in one go into a warrior three pose. So maybe bending both knees gently to bounce up into a warrior three. Start with your arms behind your back. Long line from the top of your head all the way down to your big toe. From here, drop your arms down, bring them overhead, interlace the fingers, release the index fingers, pull yourself in all directions, pull, pull, pull. From there, gently, with a long straight back, just come to standing upright. Keep your left top of your foot on the floor. So you're leaning on the top of your foot, stretching the arch of the left foot. Still you have your arms up. Lift your whole torso up and bend back. Gently. And it's a tricky balance. So if you fall out, don't worry. Come straight back in. And if you have to take it a little bit less deep to keep the balance, that's fine. And gently coming back out. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest. Step your left foot next to the right. Take a deep breath. Open your arms. Palms facing forward. Grounding yourself down. Standing proud and tall. Breathing in, bring your arms up overhead. Breathing out, swan dive down. Breathe in. Come halfway up. Breathe out, step or jump with big spread palms into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into your downward facing dog. Pressing those heels down into the floor. Bringing the soft fleshy part of your elbows up to the ceiling. Shift weight into the right foot. Start reaching your left foot up and back. Pointing through that foot. Lifting the hip. Again. Your left hip is opening, but the rest of the pose stays the same. The left armpit is reaching down. Really strong and straight through the left knee. Then bend that knee. Lift it up higher and start to drop the toes towards the floor. Shift your weight into your right hand. Already lifting the left arm. Opening your chest. Circling. Reversing. Come back the same way you came in. Stick your left foot to the ceiling. Then tuck your chin in and bring your knee towards your forehead. From there, roll the way forward. Lengthening your back. Step the foot between the hands. Coming into your warrior one. Sinking your hips down and bending your right knee down. Twisting to the left, right arm forward, left arm back. Start to press into your left foot to bring your pelvis back. Look back at your left hand to reach for the right heel. Once you reach it, twist your torso forward and lift your right arm up. Start to bring it overhead, leaning back into your right heel. Opening the chest, dropping the head, surrendering here. Gently coming back out, coming all the way to the front, sitting deep and low in your hips. Now bringing your hands, either grabbing your opposite elbows And if that was your option on the first side, see if you can have the other elbow on top this time. Or come back into your reverse prayer. See if you can shimmy your fingertips up even higher, closer to the base of your neck. Bring the whole hand palms together and push your elbows back. From here, straighten through the right knee. From there, come into a warrior two pose. Sinking your hips down low. From there, straighten the front knee. Come into your back bend. From there, bending back down into your warrior two. Still your hands are in prayer. Straightening the front knee. Now lifting your right heel up. Turning your right hip forward so your both hips are parallel. Balancing on the ball of your right foot. Breathing in and lift your chest up to come forward with a long straight back. Only come forward as far as you can stay with the lower back straight. So if you feel your lower back starting to round, stay there. Doesn't have to be completely flat. From here, gently come back up. Release your hands. Bring them up overhead. Bend your front knee. Back into our low warrior one. Now come forward on the diagonal. Bring your hands forward down to the floor. Walk your hands already, your fingertips a bit forward, then bend both your knees. We're going to step straight into warrior three, starting with the arms back. So balancing on your left leg. Your both arms reaching back. If you fall out like me, just come straight back in. Pressing your big toe down firmly into the floor to keep your balance. One long straight line from the top of your head all the way to your big toe. Drop your arms down, interlace your fingers, release the index fingers and pull them up and away from your head. Pulling, pulling, pulling in all directions and standing up. Place the top of your right foot on the floor. Take a deep breath here. Breathing in, lift your whole ribcage up and gently bend back. Balancing on the top of your right foot. And if it's just an attempt, don't worry. Again, press down into your left big toe. Arching. Gently bring your hands to prayer. Roll your back up. Step the right foot next to the left. Standing tall and proud. Shift the weight into your left foot. Bring the right foot up to the front of your hip, coming to tree pose. Your right hand comes to prayer. Tucking your pelvis slightly so your lower back stays long. Letting your right knee easily slide down. If the foot doesn't slip, bring the left hand to meet the right. Now bring both hands to your lower back and let's try a small back bend here. Pushing down into your hands, lifting your chest up and away as you breathe in. Then gently, gently Lifting your face. Pull your elbows back to the back wall. Gently rolling out of this. Bring your hands back to prayer. One long line all the way through the back. Moving up. Space between the ribs and the hips. Long back of your neck. Gently release the right foot. Step it back down next to the left. Take one deep breath here in the center. Shifting the weight into the right foot. Lift your left ankle in front of your right hip. Holding on to the foot with the right hand. Bring your left hand to prayer. Slightly tucking your pelvis forward, very slight, just so it doesn't tilt back. Lengthening the back of your neck. Great. If the foot doesn't slip, release the right hand and bring it to meet the left. Then bring both hands to your lower back. Press down to your lower back to lift your sternum up and start to bend back. Small, gentle, balancing back bend. Pulling your elbows back to the back wall, opening your chest. Gently moving back up. Bring your hands back to prayer. Feel yourself grounding down and rising up at the same time. Opposition forces moving through the body. Releasing your left foot. Step the foot down. One deep breath in the middle here. And as you breathe out, drop your chin to your chest. Drop your arms down. Then breathing in, float them up, lift your face, lift everything up before you swan dive down. Breathing out, coming halfway up. Make sure you spread your fingers as you step or jump back into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Gently lifting the right leg all the way up. Bend the knee, pull the knee into the chest. Bring the foot now on the outside of your right hand, so your foot is on the outer edge of your mat. Drop the left knee down. Coming into lizard, you can stay here if it's intense enough. You can come to your elbows, and if you want to come somewhere in between, you can use a block either beneath your head or underneath your elbows, whatever feels the best for you here. It can be quite nice to release the head into a block actually. Finding the level of the block that is appropriate for you. Sink your hips down. Deep stretch at the front of the left thigh and the inside of the right thigh, inner hamstrings. Open your right foot, pointing your right knee a bit to the side wall, deepening the stretch. walk your foot back in. Come back onto your hands. Few options here. Right, let's start. We'll start by stretching out the hamstring for a moment. So, shifting your hips all the way back, bring a block with you. Come to sitting. Bring the block underneath your right sit bone. So your right leg is straight, your left knee is bent. Move your left heel just outside the left hip, so your both hips are even. You're not sitting here on top of your left heel. Both hips even and facing forward. Start arching your lower back, and let's come back to these spine waves here. Moving from your tailbone, waving through your spine. Just for a moment to remember the feeling, and then starting from the head to reverse the direction. Be very aware of the position of your lower back when it's round and when it's arching. From here, arch your lower back forward. So we want to come forward with a really flat lower back. Exactly like we did in this standing pose with the hands in reverse prayer. We only want to come down as far as we can with a long, straight lower back. So feel like you're arching your lower back, and as soon as you feel it starting to round, that's where you have to back off a little bit and keep lengthening it. So inching your hands forward, seeing if you can connect your lower belly to your upper thigh. And if this is very difficult for you and you can't keep your lower back straight, just bend your knee a little bit. Bend the right knee. This creates more space and gives you a big stretch in the hamstring. So the hamstring flexibility and the lower back flexibility are very interlinked here. They really go hand in hand. Very often people ask me how to get their hamstrings longer. And it has a lot to do with stretching with a straight lower back. Because when you round your lower back, your hamstrings don't get a stretch. You can try it out and feel it for yourself. Maybe it feels like you come down lower because your head comes down lower. But it stretches in a different place than when you really stick your sit bones back. So feeling like you're arching your back. And from that long lower back feeling, come down as far as you can. You can grab hold of the top of the left foot. You can keep bending the right knee. So with your left hand grabbing hold of the top of the right foot. And maybe, it's easy to come with a long lower back with your knees straight, and then you can with your knee bent. And then once you're in a position, you can start to straighten your knee very slowly, keeping your back long. Deep hamstring stretch here. And to finish it off, round down. See if you can round down just the upper back so your lower back stays long where it was, long and flat. Just releasing the muscles between the shoulder blades. And then super gently roll yourself back up. Now, take one of your scarves or your strap with you so you have it nearby. Actually, let's fold it already around the left foot now that we're here. So shift your weight a little bit to the right so you can lift your left knee and just prepare the scarf around your left ankle or the top of your left foot actually. There's all sorts of ways you can attach it, but it really also works fine if you make sure you have both ends about the same length. Just prepare it like that. And then we're going to come back forward. Take your block with you. Now there are a few options here. Option one is to stay very, very high up in your lunge. So you're making a 90-degree angle with your both legs. The right shin perpendicular to the floor, the left thigh perpendicular to the floor. And from here, you can grab your strap, making sure you grab around above your heel. So this is option one. If this is intense for your knee, you can fold your mat or bring a pillow to put underneath your mat. It's option one. If you want to deepen a bit, just take your foot further forward into your deepest possible lunge. So again, now your right shin is perpendicular to the floor, but your left thigh is not anymore perpendicular to the floor. The hip is moving closer to the front. And from here, you can grab your strap, pull it with both your hands over your shoulders. Just take a moment here to really breathe. And the great thing about working with this strap is that you can stretch two things at the same time, or you can even change between the two. So if you pull your foot a little bit away, you're stretching your shoulders. If you push with your foot into the strap, but if you release that and you pull your elbows diagonally forward, you're stretching into the front of your thigh. Breathing deeply, very deep stretch for the front of the hip. If you want to continue or go a bit deeper, you can start to drop your head back, pulling on your strap. Gently coming out of that, and we'll come back into variation with this a few times. This is the big thing we're going to work on today. So maybe it's a good idea to fold your mat so you have a softer base for your knee. So that was round one. We're going to keep progressing. Let's do one more time. So if you're still in your perpendicular shape, keep going, or you can, from your perpendicular shape, gently start to walk your foot forward, moving a little bit deeper into that stretch of the top of the left thigh. So we'll come back into exactly the same thing we just did. But maybe this time we'll try to grab the strap a little bit closer. So if you start with the strap with your arms low, you can see it's a little bit tricky. You have to make sure you pull it on the right side. You can see if you can flip your elbows through the strap. That way you have the strap closer to you, which makes obviously the stretch more intense. A little bit searching for the way that works here. So try to walk your hands a little bit closer to your foot on the strap. And sink your hips, bend your back. Yeah, I'm having a tricky balance day today. So I hope it's for you a bit easier. I'm falling out quite a lot. but it's all part of it. Falling out means our body is learning something about where it needs to strengthen in order to balance better next time. So try one more time. Walk your hands closer to your foot on the strap. Sink your hips forward. Then bend your back. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders. And gently coming out of it. Take a moment to shake out your legs. You can come to a little forward bend and just shimmy your hips. Now the next step I want to try is the same position but moving towards split. So we're going to take a block. And again, if this is too much for you, just keep going in the position that works for you. So you can also go against the wall for a bit more stability. So like this, really using your mat or your pillows, and that way you can have a bit of stability and you won't fall out. Find a way that works for you to practice this. And me, I'm going to step my right foot forward again in a big lunge. Take my block on the highest level. Make sure I have my strap in your body. And I'm going to sit my top of my right thigh on top of the block, straighten my right leg. So this is a preparation for a split. And then bending the left knee. It would have been easier to prepare this before. Wrapping the scarf again around my left foot. And again, this is a bit tricky to balance, so if you're next to a wall, you can also lean one of your hands into the wall here. From here, same exact thing. Arching your back, trying to balance calmly. And gently coming out, and maybe from here, it's possible to slide your block one position lower. Coming into splits. And from here, I'm just going to bend my left knee and pull it with my left hand. Because I'm having trouble balancing. It's quite tricky. So I'm keeping my right hand on the inside of my right knee, pulling my left heel towards the outside of my left hip. I'm going to try one more time with the strap, wrapping it around the foot. Twisting the torso forward. Yeah, that's intense. And ending up, just because I'm here now, in full splits, trying to keep the hips even, so keeping the left hip moving forward. Gently moving out. One round of cat-cow to neutralize the spine. Then we're going to do the whole shebang on the left side. So step the left foot on the outside edge of your mat. Shifting your hips all the way forward. We're coming into lizard pose to begin with. Untucking the right toes. If this is already very intense, you can stay here. Or bring your elbows to the floor. You can also use a block underneath your elbows if you want to have a middle way. Or place your head onto the block. Softening and deepening the stretch into your front of your right thigh and the inside of your left thigh. Be super gentle, breathing, and walk your left toes out towards the left wall. Bring your left heel to the left side, your left knee to the left side. Opening up even more. Release your belly here. See if you can relax the shoulders. From here, push down into your hands, walk your foot back to the center. Bring your hips back. Bring your block with you. Placing the block next to your right foot, underneath your left sit bone. Your knees are together and bring your right heel slightly out to the side so your right hip can be even with the left. Both hips are facing forward and are on the same height. Flexing your left foot strongly. Start waving through the spine here with a flexed left foot. Start from your tailbone, tucking it under, sticking it out. All these spine waves we've done throughout the class. Use them one more time. Really fluid spine, a lot of water between the vertebrae, very spongy, liquid discs. Reverse the direction, starting from the top of the head. Waving all the way through the spine. Really noticing when your lower back is round and when your lower back is flat. And coming back to the middle, sitting upright to begin with. Stick your sit bones back, so really arch your lower back. And then start to walk your hands gently forward, only as far as you can go while keeping the lower back flat or even arched. Really taking the time here, and if you cannot come forward at all with your lower back arched, if it starts to round right away, bend the left knee. And sometimes even if you're very flexible and it's easy to come forward, it's still nice to bend the knee to extra strong, flex the left foot, because it changes the stretch a little bit and it gives you a lot of control over the position of the lower back. So you can come to a position where you feel your lower back is flat and your base ribs are starting to touch the top of your thighs. And from there, straighten through the left leg. Flexing the foot very strongly. See if you can come down even lower with a straight lower back. Keeping the jaw and the shoulders soft, back of the neck long. Very active stretch here, stretching deeply into the hamstrings. And from there, breathe in one more time, lengthen your lower back. Bridge your ribs, inch them down, lower down the leg, and from there, round your upper back. Down, drop the head. You can grab hold of your ball of your foot. From here, bring yourself back up with the weight in your hands. Remove the block. Bring it forward so you'll be able to reach easily later. Now wrap the scarf around the top of your right foot. If it keeps sliding off your foot, you can also loop it and tie it. That way it won't slide, but for me it sometimes feels a bit like it constricts the blood flow a bit, so I don't like it so much, but if it feels more safe, you can do it. So your strap is prepared, and shift your hips forward. And you can start with both your legs perpendicular. So your right shin perpendicular to the floor, left thigh perpendicular to the floor. Very square shape. From here, grabbing onto your strap. This is a very easy way to start here. Pulling your heel towards your sit bone, walking your hands closer to your foot. And again, you can kick into the strap to open the shoulders more. Or you can pull on the strap to open the front of the hip. And from here, if you want to take a break, you can rest for a moment, or you can start to walk your left foot forward and slide your hips forward along with it. So the deeper your hips sink, the more your foot has to crawl forward in order to keep your left shin perpendicular to the floor. Once you're all the way down with your hips, maybe walk your hands closer to your foot on the strap. Play a little bit between opening the shoulders by kicking the foot away and opening the front of the leg by pulling the foot closer. And from there you can start to drop your head back. Pull your foot closer to your head. Gently come out of it. Take a bit of a wiggle. You can come to forward fold and just shake your hips out. We'll go a few more times into the variation of this that works for you at this moment. So again, if you're really having trouble balancing, you can do this next to a wall and lean one hand on the wall, or you can place your mat against the wall and place your right knee in the corner against the wall so you have the wall to support you. Something I also quite like to do, it changes the stretch a little bit. So let's come back into it. Prepare the strap so it's already there, so you don't have to do crazy things. Going back to the variation that you were in before, to just go a little bit deeper this time. Maybe you're still working on your perpendicular both legs. Maybe you're sinking your hips forward. So start by sinking your hips forward and then grab your straps. Grab both ends of your strap. A little bit searching for what's the easiest way here for you to bring your arms up. You can either grab the strap already from above by twisting to the right, or you can grab it from below and pull your elbows through. Once you're up, you can walk your hands closer to your foot, opening your shoulders more. Shift your hips down even lower. And then start bending back. Pulling your foot towards your head. And gently coming out of it. Shake it out a bit. Bring some movement into your hips. Shake your head, and then we'll go one last time. And if you like, you can come into the split variation with me. So using your block, you can start on the highest point, or if it's very easy for you, of course you can take your block lower, taking your block underneath, just underneath your hamstring. So if you feel your sit bone, it's a little bit in front of your sit bone, straightening your front leg and making sure that your right hip is pointing forward. If you have a bit of flimsy blocks like me, make sure you find the right balance before you start to reach for your strap. So grab your strap from behind, finding a way to balance here. Kind of like you're fishing your foot out of the water with your scarf. Pulling your strap up. Trying to keep your both hips parallel, so you're turning your right hip forward. And bending your back. Very carefully, very gently here. And then maybe sliding the block a position lower. Still keeping your both hips parallel. So your right hip coming forward. And if it's quite tricky to balance, you can also start by bending the right knee, grabbing it with the right hand, turning the heel out towards the outside of the right hip, turning your torso forwards, opening your chest here. From there, maybe trying one last time with the strap. Take it easy, take your time. And gently moving out of it, maybe just taking a moment to enjoy your full splits now that we're already here. Keeping your hips facing forward. Gently moving out of this. We'll do 2 more poses. You can unroll your mat. We'll start with camel. We did this also yesterday after all the chest openings, so hopefully now it's going to be even easier. Come to standing on top of your knees. We'll do 2 times camel, and then we'll do 2 times a full bow pose. So standing on top of your knees, just like we did in the standing back, and bring your hands to your lower back, and you're pushing them down. So you can lift your whole rib cage up away from the hips, breathing in, lifting up, drop your head back, bring your shoulders back, elbows back. Start by opening your chest. Tuck your palms forward. Lean your hips forward and your whole back is rounding over a big ball. You can stay here or bring your hands down to your heels, grabbing your heels with your thumbs on the outsides, fingers on the inside. Keep pushing your hips forward, opening your chest more. Drop your head, soften your throat and your jaw, opening, surrendering here. Gently place your hands back on your lower back. Round yourself back up. Sit your hips down on top of your heels. Round your back just gently forward. Just for a little counter stretch. So we'll do either exactly the same, or you can build on that exactly like we did yesterday. So standing on top of your knees, keep your hands on your lower back, and now drop the weight down. Open your shoulder blades. So bring your shoulder blades closer together behind your spine. Bring your elbows closer together. This already opens your chest. Breathing in, lift the sternum, lift the rib cage, and bend. Drop your head back. Open your chest, push your hips forward. Now you can stay here, or grab your heels, or You can bring your hands overhead, so start by bringing your hands to prayer in front of the chest. Interlace your fingers, release the index fingers. Bring your arms up to the ceiling and then gently start to trace a line from the ceiling all the way to behind your head. Keep opening the chest, lift your shoulders up and away. Sinking down lower, breathe. Gently, gently. Coming back out of this, place your hands on your lower back. Roll your back all the way up. Sit your pelvis down on top of your heels, round your spine. Gentle counter twist. And roll yourself up. Come to lying on your belly. Chin is on the floor. Bend your both knees. Grab the outsides of your ankles with your whole hand so your thumb is included in the grip. Bring your knees together. Start by tucking your pelvis so you're using your butt muscles to push your pelvis down into the floor. From here, start kicking your feet into your hands. And that's what brings your torso up. Kicking your feet, kicking, kicking, kicking. Rolling onto the soft part of your belly. Lift your head up, keep kicking more. Opening the chest, kick your legs up. Kick 10, 7, 4, 3, 2, kick 1. Gently round down. Bring your hands down. Put your left ear on the mat. Looking over to the right, your elbows flopping out, your heels flopping out. Few breaths here. Now, you can go back exactly into the same pose, or we're going to use our 2 scarves to have a little bit of a different grip, actually a very different grip. So like we did before, preparing the straps around the tops of your feet, both scarves, so 1 scarf on each foot. And coming back to lying on your belly. Make sure the ends of the scarves are close to your hips so you can grab onto them later on. Now reach for the edges of your scarves and bend your knees. Then reach for both sides of the scarf around your foot, on both sides as close as possible to the foot to begin with. Bring your chin to your mat. Exactly the same setup as before, so start by tucking your pelvis forward. Your knees start close together, your legs are parallel, and start to kick your feet back. That's what lifts your whole torso up. From here, bend your elbows forward so your knees are bending deeper. Maybe slide your hands gently down the straps to create some space. Bring your elbows all the way forward and kick your feet up, up, up to open through the shoulders. See if you can release tension in the shoulders and maybe drop your head down for a moment, increasing the stretch here in the shoulders. And then pull your elbows down, pull your feet up towards your head. Bring your head up towards the ceiling. One more time. Pulling your feet away from you, opening The shoulders, drop your head. Breathe. And then release your knees. Pull your feet closer to your head. Bring your torso up, up, up. Gently coming down. Releasing your legs. Bring your right ear onto the mat. Flop your heels out, your elbows out. Your palms are facing up. And if you've had enough, just stay lying here. I want to go one last time into this strappy back bend because I love it. But if you've had enough, it's totally fine. If you want to come with me, bring your chin to the mat, bend your knees, grab your scarves around your feet, as close as possible to your feet. To start with, bringing your legs parallel. Push your hips down into the floor. Start to kick your feet into your hands. Opening your chest here. From there, bend your elbows, bend your knees more. Slide your hands a little bit down the straps. And then kick your feet back and up. Open up your shoulders. From there, pull your elbows down. Bring your feet closer to your head. One more time. Kicking your feet up and away. Bringing your elbows down, bringing your feet towards your head. And then gently releasing. Push yourself into child's pose. Slowly, easily, releasing the lower back. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Breathing deeply into your lower back. Roll yourself up. Let's come into Shavasana. Make yourself comfortable on your back. If you want, you can use one of your scarves to cover your eyes. Create a bit of darkness here. Nice to relax the eyelids. Let your heels flap open. Your hand palms are facing the ceiling. If you're feeling quite hot, you can bring your arms a little bit further out to the sides so you cool down faster. Taking a few deep breaths, releasing all your weight down into the floor. Softening your whole body. Giving yourself some time here to integrate everything we've done today. A lot of information for the spine. Shavasana is a super important part of the practice. Giving your brain the time to establish new connections. Just lie very still. Listen to your body. Notice all of the movement that's still happening, even when you're lying completely still on the floor. Your heart continuously pumping blood through the body. Your lungs expanding and retracting. Supplying the cells with oxygen. Digestive tract always working. The cells continually multiplying, dividing, renewing, dying. Millions of processes happening in the body as we lie here, completely still. Become aware of every bit of skin that is touching the floor. Scan your body from top to bottom and notice all the little places where the skin is in touch with the floor, and notice where there's more pressure, where there's less pressure. Can you feel exactly the transition from where the skin is touching to where the skin is no longer touching? Now shift your awareness to all of the parts of your skin that are not in touch with the floor. Moving from feet to head, from bottom to top. All of the millimeters of skin that are not in touch with the floor. Just scan through them. Maybe noticing the differences from where your skin is bare and where your skin is in touch with clothing. And then imagine for a moment that all of your insides, all of your bones, all of your muscles, all of your organs can be taken out. All that's left is your skin, and it's just lying there. It's completely melted, like a shell. Just let it be there like a puddle of you, puddle of skin. Sinking down into the floor, heavy. And take a few deep breaths. Start wiggling your fingertips and your toes. Bring some movement back into your body. And let that movement spread into your hands, into your feet, into your shins and forearms and upper thighs and upper arms and your torso, shoulders, hips, your head. Very small and gentle movement. Keep moving and roll to one side. On your side, remind yourself one last time of the spinal waves in both directions, very small and subtle. And then very lazily push yourself up to sitting. Come to a seated position with your legs folded, whichever way works for you. Half lotus, full lotus, or simple cross-legged. Bring your hands to the top of your knees and open your palms to the ceiling. Soften your fingertips, soften your palms. Soft and open palms connecting to your soft and open heart. Soft and open soles of your feet connecting into your soft and open hips and lower back. Releasing your jaw, lengthening the back of your neck. Softening your chest. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Bow your head down. Thank yourself for your hard work today. And I want to thank you very much for joining. As every day, it's a big honor to practice with you. I'm back next week. I will post later on today or latest tomorrow morning when my classes will be next week. I think it will be something like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm not sure yet. I need to double check. So check back on my group, Yoga with Manou. I will post it there. If you'd like to support, as always, it's super appreciated. You can follow, subscribe, and like, and tell all your friends, and you can also donate. Thank you to everybody who's been donating. It's a super big help in these crazy times. So if you'd like to do that, all the information is in the description of the video. If you have any requests for next week or any questions, you're always welcome to leave me comments or write me a Facebook message. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a beautiful day. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Bye.